The anti-white race lady on MSNBC was just fired. And no, I'm not talking about the anti-white race lady that you think I'm talking about. They canceled this host's show because she was, well, too racist. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. Reid of MSNBC attacked far-right opponents Friday night after Tiffany Cross was fired from the network. Cross is the woman who on MSNBC would spew virulent anti-whiteism on the air every single night. I know what you're thinking, don't you mean Joy Reid? This may be hard to believe, but Tiffany Cross actually made Joy Reid seem like Mary Poppins by comparison. Pretty much everyone in the industry knew that Cross was the most racist person in all of television news. Well, Sister Reid had some words at the end of her Friday night show. Let's give it a listen.
Just want to say one quick thing about my friend, colleague, and sister, Tiffany Cross. I was boosting for her to get the show that she created, the Cross Connection. Those on the far right who are attacking her on a social media app that I won't name,
Twitter.
You don't understand how sisters move. So watch this space.
White replacement can strangle culture. So yes, we should all be concerned about white replacement. It is, after all, a very threat to our survival here.
Okay. So, did that not sound like Minister Louis Farrakhan standing up for Pastor Jeremiah Wright? Like if he was kicked out of his ministry for being too anti-white racist? I mean, my God. Now, you may notice that I'm using the term anti-white racist. And I do that for a reason, because the left has so ingrained the term racist into our language to mean nothing but a white person who does or says something bad about a black person. And that would be racist. But I say this so that people don't get confused. It sounds to me, though, like the anti-white racists on MSNBC don't like being called out for the vile and the hate-filled filth that they spew every time they go on the air. The point is, you don't get black privilege like that when you're on a cable news station. You can speak all the hatred rhetoric with your family and your loved ones, your kids, on a street corner at a kegger, but you don't get to say that stuff on the air without ramifications. Joy Reid should be next to go. Now, here's a little montage that Tucker Carlson provided, okay? These are comments that Tiffany Cross made on MSNBC. Give it a listen.
If any Democratic Party official could today say those same words. It's hard to imagine, given what plays on a loop on that party's cable news arm, MSNBC. Have you watched MSNBC lately? Likely you haven't. Like the Tootsies, you're not the target audience, but you should tune in sometime.
Many of us have seen the dangers when powerful white people decide they want something, they annex it. And they've never had a problem replacing the people who stand in their way.
We see American white people are going crazy. They're resorting to violence.
This is literally what conservative white folks do when they don't get their way. They turn violent.
White people deputizing themselves in some position of authority to have jurisdiction over their life when they need to mind their blanking business.
I don't think it's our responsibility to be tasked with destroying and dismantling the racial oppression that's against us. That's just saying we're more at fault than the white people who constructed this system and the white people who continue to practice institutional racism.
A majority of white people do not support policies that would unpack and unroll and reform this system of justice. This is what they want. Matt Gaetz is giving the white folks what they want.
White replacement can strangle culture. So yes, we should all be concerned about white replacement. It is, after all, a very threat to our survival here.
Is there anything worse than white people? They're violent, they're heartless, they're cruel, they're deranged, they're secretive, they're dishonest. In fact, as you just heard Tiffany Cross say, white people are a mortal danger to you and your loved ones. They threaten your life. Are they poisoning the wells? Are they baking bread with the blood of your children? If not, according to Tiffany Cross and MSNBC, they're fully capable of doing those things. They've certainly done worse. Here's more. Here's Tiffany Cross at MSNBC.
Look, a lot of folks in that Capitol insurrection, some of these folks were white women. And I know we're talking a lot about Oath Keepers and Proud Boys, but I do think that some of the white women who adopted this ideology, is America ready to face the fact that some of those folks look like people they have elevated and put on a pedestal of being untouchable? What do you say about this wing of white women who have been radicalized and are enablers to this very dangerous domestic terrorism movement that we've seen increase quite rapidly?
Unbelievable. Now, we have a professor here, Tony Evans. He's a professor at Penn State. And he took to social media to tweet the clip I just played of you of Reid's support of the anti-white racist Tiffany Cross, and asserted that Reid said what needed to be said. I mean, he literally, this guy, she said what needed to be said. This guy is a professor at a university. Okay. So I think, what is it with black Americans with a semblance of power behind them? What makes them think they could say things like this? It was white people that helped them during the civil rights era to stop this kind of nonsense. Okay, now there's not enough racism to go around for them, so they make it up. A lot of it. Look, there's racism out there. Yeah, point to that. Don't make stuff up about political figures that you disagree with. Someone should speak to the administrators at Penn State and find out if they really do like having a professor working there at the university who supports anti-white racists like Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid. Now, Fox News said that according to a source familiar with the incident, Cross was fired because of her repeated bad behavior on and off camera. Bad judgment, they said. Folks, these are the same people who make up racism against people like Tucker Carlson and others. People like Joy Reid, Tiffany Cross, and the lame brain professor shouldn't be able to accuse people of racism just because they disagree with them politically. People who throw out accusations of racism without sufficient evidence are a piece of garbage. Now, Tucker Carlson never said anything racist about Tiffany Cross, and yet we have all the usual suspects all over cable news calling him a racist for pointing out that she's a racist. How does that actually work? I think MSNBC should get an attaboy for taking a racist off the air. And at the same time, I would like to know if Joy Reid has a picture of one of the top executives with a donkey or something. How the hell does she get to keep her job after all the racist things she has said? Now, I'm going to put a link to this down in the description. So please visit rpwmedia.com and read all of our stories. So that's it. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for spending time here. And we'll see you in the next one.